Hey everybody, what's up? It's Evan here from Transplant Gamer, and today I'm going to show you my Nintendo 64 game collection. So let's head over to the kitchen and get right into it. Alright everybody, here we are in the kitchen, and let's get started on my Nintendo 64 collection. This first game I got, these first two games I actually got with my Nintendo 64, and that is Gex 64 Enter the Gecko. This is a good game. I enjoy it. I remember, I'm not sure if it was Gex 64 I played at Toronto McDonald House or the third one. I'm pretty sure it was the third one, but I could be wrong. But this is an okay game. It's fun, and it's a platformer, adventure platforming game, action game, and it's a fun time. So I recommend this game. It's a good game. Next up is Army Men Sergeant's Heroes 2. This game also came with my Nintendo 64 when I got it. And this is a fun multiplayer game to go against your friends. The only problem I noticed while playing with friends is the maps are really big. And we always have trouble finding each other. But we enjoy playing it. And if you find it for a good price, I'd pick it up. It's a good game. Next up, Pokemon Stadium. This is a really fun game. I play this with one of my friends when we hang out almost all the time. We play this game. Great game, fun Pokemon. They have a good selection of Pokemon, and it's just a good battle game if you're into Pokemon. Next up, this is another Pokemon game. I love this game. This is Pokemon Snap. Now this game they had at the Ronald McDonald House in Pittsburgh. And when I would go for my biopsies, my heart biopsies, we would stay at the Ronald McDonald House in Pittsburgh. And they had this game for the Nintendo 64, and I can picture playing it because down in the basement behind the TVs were mirrors behind them. And they have this game, and I played this all the time when I went to the Ronald McDonald House in Pittsburgh for my biopsy. So it was really cool to find this at a game store. I grabbed it right away as soon as I saw it. It was on my list when I started collecting. If you like Pokemon, I recommend it. And if you just like on-rail shooters, I recommend it. You're basically in this vehicle that's on rails. It's not a train. It's like a sphere. It has 3 legs. And you ride through the land taking pictures of Pokemon. You can throw apples to get them into certain positions. They'll chase the fruit. And it's a fun rail shooter, and I recommend it if you're into Pokemon or you just want a nice, calm game to play at night, and you just take pictures of Pokemon. Really good game. I enjoy this one. I recommend definitely. The next game is, I consider, a classic on the Nintendo 64, and that is Diddy Kong Racing. And this is a really fun game to play with friends. I don't think it is compared to Mario Kart. It's a great game. It was on my list when I started collecting. I recommend it. It's a fun game. Compared to Mario Kart, though, I would have to go for Mario Kart. But this is a very fun game. I'm not saying it's bad at all. The story mode is really fun. There's actually a story mode in this, and I do highly recommend this game. It is a fun game. It's a classic for the Nintendo 64. Next up is Cruising World. Now, I always play the cruising games in arcades where you actually sit down in the arcade cabinet with the steering wheel and the pedals. And I watched gameplay for this game when I first got my Nintendo 64 for Christmas. And I just really liked it. So I finally found this game, and I bought it. And it's a good cruising game. It's really fun to play. I played 2 players on it once with a friend, and we had fun crashing into each other and making cars flip. It can get really chaotic racing, and it's a fun game. Check it out if you'd like to. It's really fun. Next up is a game my friend got me for Christmas, maybe last year, and that is Lego Racers. Now this is a fun game. It's not the best graphics, it's not even the best handling for driving, but in the graphics, like I said, but we have a ball playing this whenever I go to his house. He has this game as well, and we play it and we laugh and we have a good time. It's a fun game. So not the highest quality, but if you're just looking for a fun racer, check out Lego Racers. Next up in the collection is a awesome game. Very, I feel like, sought out after and hard to find, or one of the harder to find games, is Pokemon Stadium 2. Now, sequels for games, it's either going to be worse or better. In my opinion, I like Pokemon Stadium 2 a lot better than Pokemon Stadium. A lot more characters and attacks, and it's just a really, really, overall, in my opinion, better game than Pokemon Stadium. Whenever a friend comes over that's also into Pokemon, and I'm only into Pokemon games, I don't collect cards or anything like that. And if they're also into Pokemon N64 games, they always go for Pokemon Stadium 2 over Pokemon Stadium. And they even go over, Pokemon Snap, which is, I think that's a niche game, and I really like Pokemon Snap, but they always go for Pokemon Stadium 2 over the original Pokemon Stadium. So this is a really good game. If you can find it, get it, check it out. Good game, Pokemon Stadium 2. Next up is a classic for the Nintendo 64. I feel like this is another game almost everyone has. And that is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, I have not put the hours into this game as much as I want to. I literally played it once for maybe an hour, maybe even a few minutes because I had to go do something. And I never came back. But this is a game I definitely want to get into and play all the way through in 100%. Looks like a really fun game. I've watched gameplay. I'm really into it. I just need to find the time to play this game and really get into this. So, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Next up is a game I played in the hospital. They had this, and I was very young, of course, at the time, and they had this game for their Nintendo 64 in the hospital, and I would play it, and I've been looked for it, finally found it online, and I bought it, and that is Tigger's Honey Hunt. Now, of course, this is a children's game, but I bought it for nostalgia reasons, because, as I said, I played this in the hospital when I was younger, and it's a child's game. It's a Disney's child's game. It's a collectathon. You're going through as Tigger looking for, honey pots for Winnie the Pooh, because he lost all his honey. And it's just a simple children's game. And like I said, I mostly just bought it for nostalgia. And if you want to check it out, go ahead and check it out. It's the usual children's game. So, Tigger's Honey Hunt. Next up is another classic. I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot because the Nintendo 64 has so many classics. And this is Mario Party. And before anyone says anything, yes, this is a reproduction label. And a lot of people probably wonder, well, why would you do that if you're so into collecting? When I bought Mario Party, the front label was in horrible condition. You couldn't even read the label. It was ripped in some parts. And I don't ever plan on selling my N64 collection. I want to keep these forever. I love the Nintendo 64. And so I thought, why not make it look nice? If I don't ever plan on reselling it or anything like that, I might as well make it look nice. So yes, I did get a repro label for Mario Party. But as I said, if you saw the original label that was on it, it was terrible, shredded to Parts were missing. It was ripped. There were wet stains on it. It was bad, but it worked. So I just got a repro label, and this is another classic, great party game for friends. My friends and I, this is another game we play for hours and hours when they come over. And if we have a sleepover, we're up playing this late into the night, Mario Party. Very fun game, very fun party game to play with friends to get into. It gets really intense. We start yelling at each other and calling each other names, all in fun. But it can get, depending on who you're playing with, a really intense game. And we take this game really seriously when we play it. I highly recommend it. A great party game, Mario Party. Very fun. Now this next game is not a very popular series, I feel like, in general. Maybe it's a niche series, but it is Gex 3, Deep Cover Gecko. I like the Gex games. I've only played Gex 1 and Gex 3 because those are the only ones on the Nintendo 64. And Gex 3 is another game the Ronald McDonald House in Pittsburgh had. It was Gex 3. And I played the heck out of this game. Just like Pokemon Snap, I played the heck out of this game when I was at the Ronald McDonald House in Pittsburgh. So I definitely had this on my list when I started collecting. It took me quite a while to find. Again, I think this is a game I found online. I had to get. I couldn't find it in any stores. It was going for really cheap, so I picked it up. This game I do recommend. I like Gex 3 a lot more than the original Gex. So if you're going to pick just one Gex game to try out, I really recommend Gex 3. Deep Cover Gecko. If you're going to get just one Gex game, get Gex 3. Great game. Very underrated. Next up, this game, I feel like doesn't get a lot of love, mostly because of the controls. A lot of people say it's just not a good game. And it is Glover. And I agree. The controls for Glover are horrendous. But I bought this because when I was younger, of course, as a kid, you see the cover art. You know, that's what draws you in, is the cover art, mostly as a kid. And whenever I saw this in stores or at a friend's house or commercials for it, I was drawn to it. The cover art more than the commercial. And I just I never got it as a kid. So when I started collecting, I saw this in a store and I bought it right away. And I was so excited to get home and play it. And the reviews are right. It's not a very good game. And the controls are horrendous, as I said. Just overall, not a good game. I bought it because, as I said, it was a wish when I was a kid to buy it, to own it. And I have it now. And do I regret getting it? No. It's another game in the collection. I don't regret getting it. I fulfilled a childhood mission to own this game, and I own it now. But it's not a very good game. But I am glad I have this in my collection, Glover. Next up is another game I played at the Ronald McDonald House in Pittsburgh, in the basement on the N64, and that is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. This is a great game. When I bought this game, because when I was younger at the Ronald McDonald House, I was so good at this game. I'd have kids come down and play with me, and I'd be beating them left and right, just demolishing other kids at the Ronald McDonald House at this game. So when I bought this, when I found it, I was so excited. I grabbed it, and I'm like, I'm going to be so good at this. I can't wait to get right back into it years later. And I put it in, and I started playing, and I sucked. I was so bad, and I need to get back into this and try to get this. I might never have the skills I had as a kid playing, but I'm not good at it. But it is a fun game, and even looking over the nostalgia, past through that, it's a fun racer, and I do recommend picking it up. High speed, very fast racing game, and it's just a fun game overall, so highly recommend. Next up is Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. Now, it's a weird story behind this one because I don't know if I played this in the hospital. I don't know if I played it at the Ronald McDonald House. I might have never. I mean, for some reason, I do have random memories of playing this game. And I feel like it was in the hospital, not at the Ronald McDonald House. I feel like I played this in the hospital. And it's a platforming game, a fun game. And, you know, if you're into Disney games, I recommend this game. It's a fun game. And that's really all I have to say about this. You play as Buzz going around different levels. The first level's in Andy's room. Then you go to Andy's backyard. And, you know, just different throughout the town are different locations for the levels at Andy's attic. You know, so I recommend this game if you want to check it out. It's a fun game. Next up, I feel like is another classic game for the Nintendo 64. I played this at my brother Dan has this game for his Nintendo 64, and that's where I played it for the first time. Is on my brother Dan's Nintendo 64, and that is Wave Race 64. Now, for the time, the graphics on this are really good, especially the water graphics. The water, for the time, looks beautiful in this game, the waves, everything. It is a fun racing game. I play this mostly by myself, not really with friends. My friends don't really get into this game. I play it by myself a lot. And I do recommend this if you're into collecting. Wave Race 64. Very fun racing game. Beautiful water graphics for the time. Next up is a major heavy hitter classic game. And that is Mario Kart 64. This, I mean, if you own a Nintendo 64 and you don't own this already, or you're not planning on owning it, that's a big mistake. This is a great game. Everyone has heard of it. I mean, if you're into retro gaming, you have heard of Mario Kart 64. And the franchise, what is it, Mario Kart 9 now? Mario Kart 8? It's just a probably Nintendo's most popular franchise, Mario Kart. It's a great game, and Mario Kart 64, I feel like, is one of the best, in my opinion. It is a great game. If you've never played it, pick it up. It's a great game. Highly recommend Mario Kart 64. I never owned this growing up as a kid. I played this at a friend's house across the street from mine who owned it, and we played it there all the time. So great game, Mario Kart 64. Next up is another classic, another hard-hitting game, is Super Smash Brothers. This is another great game. Franchise, again, still going today on the new consoles, the new gen consoles. Super Smash Brothers is a classic. Great game. I'm working to unlock all the characters right now in this. The starting roster is very small on this game. You have to unlock them. They're not just available right away like the new ones. You have to unlock them as you go. You gotta play story mode over and over and over. And you unlocked different characters. And then there's challengers. You know, Samus, and if you win, you unlock her. And it's just a really fun game. Multiplayer, of course, a Super Smash Brothers game. The multiplayer is mostly what I play on this with friends. And this is just the classic Super Smash Brothers. Great game. If you want to play the first one, this is great. That's what started it all right here. Amazing game. Next up on the list is Yoshi's Story. This is a very cute, colorful, childlike game, but it's simple. You go around to each level collecting fruits and get to the end of the stage. This is a game I had when I was younger on my original Nintendo 64, and this was one of the games we had, and we played the heck out of it. My friend, she loved this game. She wanted to play this game all the time when she came over when we were younger in the 90s. This is a great game, collect-a-thon, highly recommend it. It is a cutesy child's game, but I do recommend this game. It's a very fun game. Next up is another hard hitter, classic. I feel like everyone has played this. Everyone owns this who has a Nintendo 64. or even if, on a Nintendo eShop, whatever it's on now, it is a classic. It is 007 GoldenEye. Amazing multiplayer. I feel like that's why most people bought this game, was for the 4-player multiplayer co-op gameplay. And I have friends come over and we still play co-op multiplayer on this game. And this is just another classic must-have Nintendo 64 game by Rare. Just a great overall game. Great game. Next up in the collection is Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Now this is another game that was at the Ronald McDonald House in Pittsburgh for the Nintendo 64. And this was on my list I was going to buy. But actually one day we were doing some cleaning or something. And I never owned this game as a kid, ever. I always played it at the Ronald McDonald House in Pittsburgh. Never owned this game, but I found it up in the attic. And this is a fun game, fun shooting game, and it was really weird, but I own this game now, so it's great to have this in the collection. And I do recommend this again if you're a Star Wars fan. Going down, these are the last 6. Up next is a classic, the most probably popular Mario game to date, still to this day, and that is Super Mario 64. I never owned this growing up, but I do remember playing this in the hospital on the Nintendo 64 when I was in the hospital. And this is just, I don't know what to say that people don't know about this game. This is just a masterpiece of a game, classic Super Mario 64. I feel like it's in everybody's collection. If it's not in your collection already, I don't know why. I feel like everybody knows this game. I don't have to explain it. I played this all the time in the hospital. I remember sitting in my hospital bed. My mom would have to go check out the cart with the Nintendo 64 if it wasn't checked out already by another patient. And this is the first game I went to playing that it came with on the cart. I played this all the time in the hospital. And now to finally own it for myself is just, it's really cool to have. And that's Super Mario 64. Played that all the time in the hospital. Now this game I've read about online before I bought it. I still read stuff. I'm not sure. Some people say this is a rare game, hard to come by. Some people say it's not a rare game. It's easy to find. It took me a long time to find this game. I went to my brother Dan's house and we went retro game shopping, and I finally found it all the way out by his house. And that is Banjo-Tooie. I had Banjo-Kazooie as a kid growing up, but my brother has it in his Nintendo 64 collection. And this is a fun game. The worlds are huge in this game. So much bigger than Banjo-Kazooie, which I know a lot of people don't like and didn't like when it came out, is how big the worlds are in this game. I haven't beaten it yet. I'm still playing it, but I do like it. I feel like, I never played this before. When I bought it, I was so excited to finally try Banjo-Tooie. And I know it's rare because it came out towards the end of the Nintendo 64's life cycle. It was one of the last games. I don't know what was the last game, but this was one of the last games. And if you like Banjo-Kazooie, as I said, some people say it doesn't hold up, but give it a try. If you find it, buy it. If you don't like it, resell it. I like this game. It's a great game, and I guess I can say I recommend it. Next up is a game I never played as a kid, never owned as a kid, and that is ECW Hardcore Revolution. Now this wrestling game it's okay. I don't see why it's rated M. There's no blood that I've noticed, and there's no language or anything like that. But it's your classic wrestling game, and I played it with friends. We do have a fun time playing it. We don't really get into it much, but it is fun, and that's really all I can say for this game. Next up is WrestleMania 2000. Now this, I do play a lot with my friends. We get into it. We have fun creating our own characters, which you can't do in ECW Hardcore Revolution. This, you can make your own character And we play this a lot more than Hardcore Revolution. And this is a blast. I'd recommend this game if you're into wrestling. I'm not even really into wrestling, but I do like the games. The wrestling games are good, so I do recommend WrestleMania 2000. Now this game, I have complete in box. If you go to my unboxing of this game, and that is, this is a rare game, especially complete in box. I got this for Christmas this year, this past Christmas, complete in box, and that is Paper Mario. I never owned this game growing up. My friend owned this game growing up. His name was Evan as well. He had this at his house, and we played it all the time when I would go over to his house. I never owned this growing up, and now owning it now, it was one of my dream games to own when I started collecting. But when I saw how much it was, I never thought I'd get it, ever. I could never find it. Everything online was reproduction, and if it was original, they were asking, $1,000, stuff like that. I never thought I'd own it, and I never saw it out in the wild in person, ever. And then this past Christmas, my friend, who's also into N64 and collecting, he got this for me, complete in box. He found it online. No, not a reproduction, original, complete in box with manual and everything. And when I unwrapped it, I thought this was, I almost cried. This was amazing to have in the collection now. Classic. I can't wait to get into it. And I'm really excited to have this complete in box. Paper Mario, amazing game, hard to find, going and very expensive now. Great game, great RPG game, Paper Mario. Now the last game in my collection is Dr. Mario 64. Now I was really excited when I got this because I watched gameplay on YouTube and I thought, I'm good at Tetris, I'll be good at this game. No, I'm not good at this game. I'm going to keep playing and try to get better, but it's different than Tetris, and I do like it. So if you're into puzzle games, I do recommend this game. Alright everyone, finally, the video I've been promising, my Nintendo 64 collection. Done. What do you guys think of my collection? What games did you see that you really like? What games do you not like? What games do you not have in your collection that you really want in your collection? Or maybe you got some new ideas from seeing what I have on games you want to pick up. Put all that down in the comments. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I want to thank you guys all for watching. This is Evan from Transplant Gamer signing off. Bye.